Hi, Josh Barker with Josh Barker Real Estate, and thank you for checking out our market update for the month of June 2025. Let's go ahead and kick right off the sales report for the Shasta County Multiple Listing Service by looking at the sales for last month. So there was 213 properties that closed escrow last month on the MLS. That's down just slightly from the 217 a year ago. The big noticeable thing that we did see with this though is that right now, year over year, the average sales price is up 4.88%. So we had roughly 425,000 was the average selling price. The median sales price right now is still holding firm at around 373,000. So right now, that means that about half of all homes sold in the county last month were under 373,000. The next thing to look at is just the speculative activity. We kind of look to see, well, how many people are like flipping properties right now? What we saw when we looked at that report is that it's very, very small. I mean, we've seen in years past where almost 50% of sales were speculative. Right now, we're estimating it somewhere below 5% would be speculation, meaning somebody's buying with the intention of actually flipping it. So we're not seeing a lot of that type of inventory out there in the market at all. And really, it just gives you an idea that right now people are being very cautious about purchasing and making sure that they think there's an opportunity there when they do it. Next thing to look at is that the all-time concern we have right now is with distressed properties. Right now, the participation in that market is roughly 158 single-family homes that are in some form of foreclosure. Of that, roughly 89 are actually what we call pre-foreclosure. And many of those are likely to either reinstate their existing mortgage or solve their issue altogether, or in some cases liquidate the property. So we don't expect to see a lot of that 89 come to market, but there is already 30 that are scheduled for auction, and those will likely in some cases go. And then there's roughly about 35 or so that are already bank owned, of which about 16 of those are on the market. So this gives you an idea at least of what's happening out there in that. Next thing to look at is just market times. Market times are growing. Right now it's in the mid 90s per 90 days of market time before properties are sold. That's up quite a bit. It's about 37% increase over what it was last year. And so this just tells us that, hey, homes can't just come up for sale and then sell. Price, condition, and marketing are going to be a very important part or a big feature to whether or not a home is sold quickly and for top dollar. Next thing to look at is just the absorption rate. It is climbing. Right now we have 4.82 months supply of homes for sale. That means it would take about 4.8 months in order to sell off the existing inventory at the current sales volume if nothing else came to the market for sale. However, this last year we did have quite a few properties that came to sell, roughly 399. So that absorption rate growing just means that the psychology in the market, if you will, is basically neutral. People are feeling like the market is softening a little bit. Inventory levels are growing. Right now we're standing at about 903 total residential dwellings available to purchase. That is up quite a bit, about 25% or so over what it was last year. And buyers are noticing that in the market. And for some of you might be looking online, maybe at Zillow, things like that. You're probably seeing some more price reductions also, which is kind of a reflective of those days on market. So right now, the theme is the market is definitely plateauing out. We're seeing a little bit of softness overall in terms of pricing. There has been some price reductions, and going forward, what we're going to wait to see is what's going to happen with those interest rates. Currently, they're averaging around 7%, and we're really all waiting to see if they continue to come down or not. With tariffs and some of the other things out there, there's some speculation about whether or not we're going to see inflation, and until people start to feel more comfortable with that, we might see rates a little higher and elevated. Long term, most experts are saying that as the year progresses, that rates will likely be coming down, which will be a good thing. We'll probably see the volume start to pick up again. Pricing might bump just a little bit. All things that we'll all be watching together. So in any case, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. Thank you again for taking your time with us today. Have a great day.